Sometimes it holds on to that score for 330 days. So when you apply to another company that uses that same platform, you're not getting a fresh start. You're just getting that same score again.
That claim is the warning. Job seekers and employers are automating around each other, while qualified people disappear before any real conversation begins.
Is anybody else getting absolutely destroyed by the job market right now? Most recently, I worked a 1-year contract. I work in social media, and so I kind of bounce around short-term contract to short-term contract. This most recent one was a 1-year contract, which was great, but when that contract ended, I knew I was going to have to look for new opportunities. So before the contract ended, I started a job search, looking for full-time opportunities, part-time contract, anything under the sun. Since the contract ended in October, I have put out 700 plus applications. And out of all those 700 plus applications, I've only gotten a handful of interviews. And one of those interview processes went all the way to the final round. And then, I was told by the recruiter that they were actually no longer pursuing anyone for that role. They were just going to cancel that role and kind of absorb the work themselves. And then 3 days after they told me that, they reposted the listing. So I would have rather just heard, hey, you're not the right fit. But am I the only one that can't get any job? I've even applied to stock shelves at Costco to no response. Like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I've got a good resume. I've got a ton of experience. I don't know what to do. My full-time job right now is literally just applying to jobs. That's what I do day in and day out for the majority of the day. So if there's any recruiters out there who have advice or any companies hiring anything, my experience is in social media, as you can tell from my social media channels, but at this point I will literally do anything to have some sort of income. But this job market right now is insane, and I feel like I'm the only one. So if someone else is out there, please let me know, because I'm losing my mind.
Bro, this job market is actually getting really ridiculous, and I'm actually getting fed up. So, I've been fed up, but now I'm actually pissed. So I had an interview yesterday. Mind you, the interview, we were talking on Friday. He's like, you know what, come in for an interview for this clinic. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm excited. I'm going, because, that's my field. I do admin, reception, all that work. That's my field, right? Anywho, I get there, and the man was like, oh, we're going to meet for a meeting. In my head, a meeting is an interview. You know what I mean? So I brought, I went looking all professional with my resume and everything. I didn't even have time to take my jacket off. It's like this man was just trying to have a conversation type thing. But it wasn't even like, you know how some employers do like the conversation thing, but then it's kind of like an interview? Him, it was literally a conversation. Fast forward, he's like, you know what, we're going to let you know if, we decide to go with you or somebody else, blah, 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 by Wednesday. Today's Tuesday, mind you. Emailed me today saying they won't go with me. I'm fine. I'm not even vexed, because at this point, I'm at a point in my life where it's like, I got to start my own economy. I cannot rely on these damn jobs. It's so bad out here. Thank God for my part-time job and everything, but I was trying to spike it up and get more moin by working more. Long story short, after I got that email, I was kind of pissed, because I'm like, we barely had an interview. I had to go all the way there, all for you to just email me later, oh, we're not interested, da da da. We could have just had a conversation over the phone. That's just what I'm getting at. It's like, in this economy, why are you wasting people's time? Why can't you just do a virtual call? If you feel it, you schedule a real interview. What's the point of doing all the extra, come in person, this, that? And it's not even like that place is close to my house. That place was far. Anywho.
Hundreds of applications prove effort, not why rejection happens. A canceled role that reappears exposes a deeper trust problem between applicants and employers.
It's my turn to make the I got laid off TikTok. I got laid off. Found out the news on Tuesday. Thought I was just gonna enjoy my St. Patty's Day, take a half day, have a Guinness, just a silly little Guinness. Oh. And instead, I was met with a 15-minute bye bitch call. No, she was actually really sweet. But yeah, so I might look like I'm having a silly little time. I'm freaking out. Panic attacks on the low. Cannot stop crying. And just, well, I can't stop crying because I keep thinking, I'm like, oh my God, what if I don't have enough food for my dog? Like, what if I don't have a home for my dog? He's really been top of mind for me, but I guess this is the start of my TikTok vlog journey, whatever you want to call it, of my unemployment and the road to being unemployed. So if you're looking for a personality hire in the Austin area, you let me know. I come from an operations background. We'll send anyone my resume if they want it. But yeah.
I didn't really know how to start this video because there's no good way to say that I got laid off from my job. For a number of reasons, I knew there was going to be another round of layoffs, but the whole thing still just feels so surreal. Yesterday, there started to be rumors and whispers about what could potentially happen. So I had a good feeling that I was going to be one of the ones getting the cut. Because of that, I just wanted to have one final morning of routine and stability before my whole life turned upside down. So I made sure to wake up extra early to get my quiet time, and then I got a nice long upper body workout in at the gym. Once I got home, I kind of just got ready for my day like I normally do. But the thought did cross my mind of what does someone wear to get laid off? And I decided on this cutie new Fabletics set that I got in the mail. Also knowing this was coming, I went up to the office one last time to clean out my desk. And it was honestly just really sad because I've spent the last 5 years here. This was my first real job out of college, and I never really saw myself doing anything else. I spent the rest of the morning applying for jobs because what else do you do? I have no idea what tomorrow will look like. Hello girls, it's been a while since I've done a day in my life unemployment diaries vlog. So here's a little update on what my days are currently looking like. This was actually from Monday, and on Mondays, Griffin and I always wake up and run together. So we got a quick 4 miles in, and I actually had quite a busy day on Monday. Everyone always talks about habit stacking, and I feel like I do that, but with my errands and not my habits. For example, whenever I know I have to run one errand, I want to make sure that I have other errands to run at the same time because I hate leaving the house more than once a day. I know that sounds so dramatic, but to me, it just feels like a hassle to leave more than once. Anywho, before I got all my errands done, I made myself some breakfast, got some laundry going, did my quiet time. I went through like 6 to 8 months of having the egg ick, but I don't have it right now. So I'm taking advantage of that and making myself some scrambled eggs every morning. I also spent most of the morning getting some computer work done and of course online window shopping. So that way when I do have a job again, I'll be able to buy all the things that I wanted to when I didn't have a job. My husband actually works a hybrid schedule, which is so nice for us because on Mondays we usually have lunch together, which is just so fun. And it's nice to be able to see each other during the day. After that, it was time for my errands. So first I had a doctor's appointment. I always hate going to the doctor when it's inside a hospital because I feel like I never know where I am.
Behind every application count is rent, food, panic, and a forced restart. The system calls this volume. The people inside it experience real instability.
Good news, I have irons in the fire. Bad news, irons in the fire don't pay rent. It's been a little over a month since I got laid off, and honestly, the anxiety is starting to creep in, especially around finances. So if you've been lurking on my TikToks, this is your sign to follow me, maybe like this video, save it, and comment on it because it genuinely helps me right now. Mama's trying to make rent and also trying to show you that you can be in the thick of it and still be moving. So here's where things actually stand. I sent my first cold outreach message. It turned into a meeting. I finally launched my Substack called Sable's Table, something I'd been putting off forever. I've made almost $400 on Poshmark just selling things I already own, and 9,532 of you are here now, which as a millennial who used to spend hours setting up my MySpace and agonizing over her top 8, this is genuinely surreal. I'm trying to remind myself that I figured this out before. I'm hoping I can do it again. 68 days unemployed, and I have something to tell you. 20 applications, 12 interviews, give or take, and I finally landed a full-time role. And you're seeing this on my first day on the job because I didn't want to jinx anything. But while I was out here interviewing and applying, I was making a little bit of money. So I've made around $600 on Poshmark reselling the clothes that I already have. I've made $90 on ShopMy, so thank you to those who have shopped my links. And I've landed around $1,000 in brand and UGC deals. Haven't gotten that money yet, but it's something. And I've also landed some other contract work, which I'm very thankful for. And this is a big one. On TikTok, I've made $1. Here's the thing though, landing the job doesn't mean the stress is gone. I also still have baggage from my prior experiences, but really I am not getting paid and the bills are going to have to wait until my first paycheck hits. But something else happened while I was searching for a new job. When I was first unemployed, I had around 8,500 followers. And since, I have grown my account to 10,920 something followers. So thank you to everyone who has followed me. And like I mentioned before, I've landed some brand and UGC deals, again, not huge. And I was mentioned in Fast Company. So what this is telling me is that what I'm building here is very real, and I have all 10,000 plus of you to thank for that. So just because I've landed a job doesn't mean I'm letting my foot off the gas.
Day 6 of finding out that I'm being laid off. And if you need to feel better about yourself in any capacity, please listen to this, because I am the dumbest bitch in America, and that's saying something. On Thursday, a little story time. On Thursday, my company was like, hey, by the way, we paid you guys out for the stock that's vested while you were at the company. I'm like, thank you so much. Go into E-Trade. Mind you, I don't go into E-Trade often because you just got to let the money do what it's going to do in there. But I went in there and I saw the sum and I was like, hell yeah, let's get her out of there. You'd think that E-Trade would be an intuitive site. It's not. At least I don't personally think so. I don't know what I was doing or who the hell I think I am, but instead of paying attention to where I was entering this information for the money to go, I didn't. I wasn't paying attention. And I don't know if I selected something wrong or whatever, but it ended up in a bank account number that is not my bank account. No idea where it is. I don't know whose account it is. I have no idea. So either someone just got really lucky and I will never see that money again, or by the grace of God, the money will come back to me. I've been on with E-Trade since they opened this morning. They're being less than helpful. Obviously, this is my own doing. It's my own fault, but it would really be helpful if we could.
Some people rebuild through freelance work, resale, or content. That resilience matters, but personal hustle cannot repair a hiring pipeline designed around overload.
So I'm here applying for jobs, and every time I click apply, it takes me to a Workday website for the company, which is fine, but I'm pretty sure Workday only exists to make people not want to actually apply for that job they want to apply for. Because why do I have to create a new account with the exact same email address every single time I apply for a new company? And every time I go to Workday and I hit sign in, try to sign in with the account that I created for the previous application that I put in, it says the account doesn't exist. So here I am, I've created an account, like I'm literally on Workday right now, created an account. This will be my 10th or 11th time today using the same exact email address. What is the point of Workday? And as I'm filling this out, I'm getting worried that I'm never going to hear anything back, because when I try to log into Workday, it says the account doesn't exist. And I just have to keep creating new ones. Is it based on each company? You have to create an account via Workday for each company using the same email address? Why is this so challenging? I'm at the point now where I might just print out my resume, find these companies, and just drop it off at the door, because that seems easier than this whole Workday situation.
All right, this job ghosted me after an interview, so I'm going to go ahead and share this interview that was ridiculous. First things first, the place is under construction. Nothing you can do about it. It was just really, really loud. So as we're interviewing, I had to speak really, really loud because there was so much noise, and it was like a gym-like type thing. So there was a lot of echo, right? So you couldn't really hear what the people were saying unless you're literally yelling. First red flag. Second red flag. They're like, you know what? We're going to move the interview to outside. And you know what? At that point, I was like, okay, this makes way more sense because inside is way too rowdy. And like, I don't want to waste my time yelling, losing my voice over a job that I may or may not get, right? Because inside was too loud. Now we're outside. And you know when you can tell you're not going to get a job based on how comfortable the interviewers get? Like, when you guys start laughing, when you guys start talking about anything but the job, you're not getting the job. So at this point, I'm getting comfortable because deep down inside, I know they're not going to pick me. I know I'm a great worker. I know I'm athletic and stuff like that, but they're not going to choose me. So we got comfortable, and I'm going to be honest, it really felt like a humiliation ritual, because it's like the place was still under construction. I had to yell for them to hear me. We had to go outside, sit outside in the cold. Yes, there was a little bit of sun, but it was still cold. And not only that, but they were like, we'll get back to you on the Monday, because I got the interview on the Wednesday. They didn't get back to me. I had to email them literally this Saturday morning, and I was like, hey, I just wanted to know a follow-up, like, can you at least say if I got the job or not? No answer yet. Which makes sense. I sent the email maybe like 2-3 hours ago. So I'm gonna wait until they get back to me before I release this video. But I just wanted to say that nowadays, really getting a job is some real humiliation ritual. Damn, why do I not know how to speak? Because it's like, no way I had to like go through all of that, literally yell, not talk, yell, just for a job, and they didn't even get back to me.
Applicants repeat accounts, forms, interviews, and follow-ups while employers demand efficiency. Every extra hurdle invites more automation, more volume, and less human judgment. Now the loop closes. Automated applications meet automated screening. Each side adds another machine because neither side trusts the process the last machine created.
The applicant and hiring systems are no longer designed with you in mind, and waiting for it to fix itself or some class action lawsuit to come and save you is not the strategy. The people who are getting in right now aren't going through the front door. They are going around it. And I've spent the last few months showing you the data, and I keep getting the same questions in my comments. Okay, what are we going to do about it? Who are we going to sue? But before I answer that, I need to tell you what you're actually up against. Your resume is being parsed by systems like Workday, and they're using AI tools to weed you out before a human ever sees you. And it is not reading your experience. It's reading keywords, and it's matching them to the description exactly. That's filter 1. If you get past that filter, you're going to end up somewhere like Pymetrics, which is a game-based tool that scores your personality. It's one of many, but it's the only one that we have actual data on right now. Those tools can store your information for up to 330 days and then share them across the platform with every company who uses its tool. So it gives you one chance at 5 or 500 companies. That's the system. But here's what you can do about it. You have to go and find that hiring manager or a network connection from that company who knows the hiring manager and can get you in front of them. And you have to do it as soon as you see the job posted. You have to ask a former colleague for an internal referral. And you have to get to a human before you ever submit a document, because internal referrals are going to route a referral around an AI system. And then if you end up in HireVue or some other video interview system, you have to prepare for it. HireVue is used by 60% of the Fortune 100, and it is analyzing your word choice, your tone, your pace, and your facial expressions. That's documented. It's also working against older workers at scale. That's also documented. You can go look it up. So you have to practice, and you have to go in knowing what it's measuring. And when you do submit a resume, you have to mirror the exact same language from the job description. Someone commented that they take the job description, they paste it to their resume, but they shrink it, and then they make it invisible. But that's the kind of gaming the system you're going to have to do if you want to get through these systems that are processing you out before any human ever sees you. If you don't want to do that, you have to mirror the words from the job description on your resume, the exact words. That's how you game the system. You have to start speaking its language. Workday, Pymetrics, HireVue, those are the 3 big ones, but now you know their names. Follow me if you want more truths about how the system is actually working against you, and maybe share this with someone who needs a little help with their applicant strategy. We'll be here talking about it for a long time. And tell us in the comments if something's working for you. Don't gatekeep. Take care out there. Stanford just released the biggest study ever done on AI hiring tools. And it's uncovering this massive web that's answering the question all of us are asking: why does my resume keep getting rejected for jobs that I am completely qualified for? And I'm going to be honest, this study has changed the way I think about every application I've ever sent. 90% of companies are using AI to screen applicants before a human ever sees them. And the interesting thing is that most of these companies are using the same few vendors to do that work, meaning it's the exact same tool, just used in different companies. And it's probably everywhere that you have been applying. Here's how it actually works. You apply to a job, and then the company sends your resume to a third-party AI tool. And that AI platform gives you a score. And then it sends that score back to the employer. But that score doesn't disappear or get regenerated with every application you send. Sometimes it holds on to that score for 330 days. So when you apply to another company that uses that same platform, you're not getting a fresh start. You're just getting that same score again. And the research is real. They tracked over 4 million applications across 156 employers. And when they found that the people who had applied to multiple companies who were using the same AI tool to screen, the rejection rate was a little too high to be coincidental. So they're calling it systemic rejection. The study is called Algorithmic Monocultures in Hiring, if you want to check it out. But just know that if you've been sending applications out and hearing nothing back, it's probably not your resume. And this is just another reminder that we're not living in some glitch. It's effectively one score for 330 days for every company that you're applying to. And this is why laws like the ones Colorado is passing right now are going to be imperative to the future of job applications and hiring. I'm going to continue to report on this. So follow, like, comment if you want to know more about the systems that are actively working against you in your job search. And feel free to share this with anyone else who's being actively gaslit by AI on a daily basis.
That generic resume advice and interview advice that is all over front page Google and things like that, that's actually hurting so many people, because so many people come to me and they think that their resume has to look a certain way, or it has to only have this amount of bullets, or it has to be laid out exactly like this. And each person is unique. Each one of us has an amazing story behind us. We've lived our experience. We have had these amazing achievements throughout our career. We've come up with new solutions. We are the expert. And we want to showcase our value on that resume to an employer. So your resume, in essence, becomes a marketing piece. And think of any single marketing piece that you've read throughout your career, or anything in your life, actually. None of them look exactly the same. And it's because those organizations have actually said, this is the best way we want to present our information to a potential buyer or client. And I want you to think of your resume as the same way. I want you to come back to, what's my value? What story do I want to tell? What do I want them to know about me specifically? What have I done? Again, you're the expert in your field. You have lived it. You have served in that. And when you start with that, in terms of the expert, or in terms of the value, in terms of the value that you want to say, start with that, and then frame out your resume and your bullets and look at the best way to present that information so that it engages its audience, which is going to be that recruiter, that hiring manager, peers on the team, all the decision makers in terms of that hiring or that job vacancy. And the same thing with the interview. There's not one way to answer these questions. It's literally your own stories. If you go to an interview with like 8 to 10 stories of amazing things that you've actually done, and you shape those to what they're asking, you're going to be golden, because again, we want to showcase our own value, our own achievements, our own story throughout this job searching process. And we don't want to like cookie cutter it out so that it just looks like everyone else's, because that's not telling our value. And how we're going to get those jobs and how we're going to get those better salaries and be able to command and negotiate a higher salaries, again, it comes back down to value. So really, as you're going throughout all this and you're going through your search, really think about, what's special about me? What have I done? What have I achieved? What projects have I led? What new innovations, what new thought process did I bring to the team, or even in my own workstation? Those actually belong on a resume too. And those are the things that we want to talk about for your resume, for your interview, and things like that. So that, again, you're showcasing why you're a standout candidate. And that's where it all comes down to. So please don't think that every single thing has to follow this exact same blueprint, because the people that do that, I feel like, are really missing out on the opportunity to share their unique knowledge and their value.
AI may help organize volume, but identical filters and cookie cutter advice can erase context. Tools should support human judgment, not quietly replace it. If hiring feels less human, where you live, tell us what changed. Like, subscribe, and share this with someone still searching for a fair chance.